Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Mike Hanna. Putting war zones under the spotlight. Whistleblowing website WikiLeaks does it again. Last time it was Iraq, this time it's Afghanistan. The website has disclosed over 90,000 classified military documents, suggesting the reality on the ground may be worse than what's been officially reported. The leaks have been met with surprise, dismay, denial and anger, although some say it has revealed nothing new. Nevertheless, it could have an impact on the evolving US strategy in Afghanistan. Let's begin with this report from James Bays in Kabul.
The bodies of civilians being buried in Helmand. The Afghan government say up to 52 people died here in what President Karzai has called a morally unacceptable attack carried out by NATO. The Afghan leader's criticism will be deeply damaging to the international military mission here, reinforcing claims that the military has in the past consistently underreported the number of civilian casualties it causes. That's one of the conclusions being drawn from more than 90,000 US military records spanning 6 years from 2004, leaked to the internet-based whistleblower site WikiLeaks. It is an unprecedented leak, a huge volume of material with amazing detail about the conduct of this war. The release of the documents caused great surprise to the authorities in Kabul.
We were shocked by the fact that a huge number of documents were leaked. That was a shocking news. But so far as the substance of these leaked documents were, the President's immediate reaction was that most of this is not new. Most of this is what has been discussed in the past, and most of this is what we have always raised with our international partners.
The raw intelligence and threat assessments contained the suggestion that Pakistan, officially the United States ally, allows its secret service, the ISI, to meet directly with the Taliban. Their meetings appear to focus on organizing groups of men to fight against American soldiers and even assassinate Afghan leaders. Reports document a meeting between the former head of the ISI, Hamid and senior Afghan fighters in South Waziristan in early 2009, in which plans to attack US-led forces were discussed. It's a report Hamid denies, saying it's intended to tarnish his and Pakistan's image.
Now this is ridiculous because on one side they are asking that without Pakistan's help we cannot win. On the other, they want to really wickedly indict Pakistan. I think this is all aimed at one thing, Pakistan bashing.
Pakistan has often been accused of supporting the Taliban in Afghanistan. The leaked reports will only add weight to those claims.
It's not a big surprise when it comes to the Pakistani support to the insurgents in Afghanistan. We Afghans have been talking about it for quite a long time. Even President Karzai raised this issue several times with US and Pakistani officials as well. But unfortunately, we never had any positive feedback from the United States.
The documents also reveal US Special Forces have formed a secret unit called Task Force 373 with the aim of capturing or killing leading Taliban and Al-Qaeda fighters.
Roger, solid copy.
The leaked reports also suggest the Taliban has heat-seeking surface-to-air missiles capable of shooting down aircraft.
This is almost certainly the largest leak of military information in history. Journalists and researchers will scour through the data for months to come. There are bound to be fresh revelations and new questions about the effect and the effectiveness of the US and NATO military presence in this country. James Bays, Aljazeera, Kabul.
Well, joining us now to discuss the topic are our guests. In Washington, D.C., Richard Weitz. He's the director of the Center for Political Military Analysis at the Hudson Institute. In Kabul, Shukriya Barakzai. She's a member of the Afghan Parliament. And in Islamabad, Zaid Hamid. He's the head of the defense and security think tank, BrassTacks. Let's begin in Washington. Richard Weitz, certainly the mass of detail put into public views unprecedented. But in the information that has been looked at to date, is there really anything new in it?
No, that's a function of what actually has been released. It's not like the Pentagon Papers, for example, which was a release of a secret history of the war, which included the most sensitive documents that actually provided a narrative and showed that what was happening was different from, than what had been said at the time of the administration. This is just a series of field reports, mostly, and comments by paid informers saying, well, I heard that this and this happened, or I saw this. And there's not anything there we didn't really know. We knew that there was a lot of civilian casualties. We knew the fighting was hard. We knew that there are all sorts of rumors that the Pakistan ISI is helping, or elements of it are helping elements of the Taliban. People now have had a chance to look it over for a couple of days. The reaction is there's not really anything new there, other than the fact that it is an interesting, large release of documents.
Well, Shukriya Barakzai in Kabul, is there anything within the information that you've read so far that you did not know?
Well, to be honest and to be frank, I'm not really surprised by the documents, because these issues have been raised many times through to the Afghan government and from the people, which is they are living in the grassroots. They always was unhappy from the numbers of casualties, and at the meantime, the lack of proper media coverage from those casualties, which has happened since 9 years in Afghanistan, was another issue. Because some places are under controlling of the Taliban, which is nobody can go and make a report about it, how life is under their control. And during the war, nobody can make a report it, because journalists are not allowed, and there are lots of security issues as well. I'm not really surprised by the number of casualties. This is the sad stories which is repeating time to time in Afghanistan. But yes, I'm glad for at least the international community, in particular United States, got the information about the double policy from the Pakistan, which is the Pakistan intelligence service never was loyal and honest against war and terror. Purposely, strategically, and wantedly, they keep some areas to be unsecure, and they sent those unsecure areas gangster back to Afghanistan with the name of Taliban, which is they are today a big troublemaker for the Afghan people and somehow for Pakistani people too.
Zaid Hamid in Islamabad, your view of what's just been said there, that this information apparently confirming some form of Pakistani-based links with the conflict in Afghanistan?
This information confirms nothing. Let me first clarify that what this information actually is classified into is, in simple language, is called street gossip. The fact is that this is raw information, raw source reports. Often on many documents it is written that this has come from paid informers with credibility and information reliability is doubtful, and no operational strategy can be built. These are footnotes given almost on so many of the documents there. And the fact is, out of 92,000 documents released, less than 180 mention ISI in passing remarks, and even less than 30 or almost 30 some put some kind of allegation on ISI with the, as we said, with the footnotes that these are uncorroborated,